Hey all, Pete here. I'm out here in the desert doing a little bow hunting today and looking for pronghorn or speed goats as we call them here in Idaho. And I wanted to stop and shoot a quick video for predator calling on stand location and stuff like that. So I'm in a spot here. I don't usually call this area, but once in a while I do. It's pretty desolate out here for coyotes, but the terrain right here is pretty good for demonstrating what I look for in a set. And when I'm in a call, I talked about in one of my intro videos how you want to have a place, first of all, where you can get your vehicle down in a low spot. So that when you're calling and coyotes are coming in, they can't see the vehicle even from a distance. And then you want to be able to get like over a hill or something so that you can, get away from the vehicle or, where it's out of the line of sight. And this isn't a bad place to kind of demonstrate that. And so, I'm going to flip the camera and kind of talk about it and walk out to where I might call from if I were going to call right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip the camera. So I'm gonna back up. You can see my Jeep here, and you can see we've got some hills. We're behind some cover here, right? So I can come up over this saddle. I'm gonna go over in the low spot. I could also go around that side right there if I wanted to stay off the skyline. One might argue that if a coyote came from over that hill, they would see the Jeep, and that's true, they would. But depending on the wind, right now there's no wind out here, but depending on the wind, if the wind was blowing that way, they're not gonna come over the hill over there. They're gonna probably circle down and come around from that side to try to wind me. And so I could conceivably call here, even though a coyote coming over the skyline out there would be able to see the Jeep. So in a perfect world, I'd be covered right here as well. There'd be a hill here. So this Jeep would be sitting in a low spot. See, I'm covered over there. That hill hides the Jeep from that side. These hills through here have everything hidden. My only vulnerability is out this way. But if I'm going to go over this way and call, I don't really need to worry about it because over there would be behind me anyway, if that makes sense. Two avenues of approach to the calling stand. Again, you've got this low spot right here, or you could skirt around this edge over here. And so if I'm going to call over that side, then I would probably skirt this edge. So we'll walk over this way. You can see the country out here. There's not a lot of habitat for what coyotes are munching on other than voles. Not much sagebrush out here to support a rabbit population. If there are rabbits, they're going to be around these lava rock. Now see, as I approach this stand right here, I'm going to want to start moving slower, because I'm going to assume if I'm calling that there's a coyote within hearing distance, maybe within sight distance. All right, so I'd come around these rocks right here. And if I had a hill right over here blocking the line of sight of my Jeep, then this is where I would sit. I would sit right in these rocks right here. Just kind of move the camera around so you can see. I've got these rocks. Or I'd come up and I'd kind of hunker down right here so I'm not skylining myself too bad. And looky there, those rocks right there, Make a great place to lay a rifle across. Or these rocks right here, perfect to sit against and lay my shooting sticks down. I don't know if you can see all that dried poop, but that's all rock chuck poop. So, you know, there may be coyotes running around here in the fall and spring. Not much else to eat. A couple things. Flip my camera back around. So if I sit down against these rocks right here, so you see I'm below the rocks, so I'm not skylined. I have a pretty good line of sight on everything, with one exception, and that would be, I'm gonna turn my camera so you can, I'm gonna pan it so you can see my line of sight. I'm good that way. Right there, those rocks would block a shot if the coyote came. You know, see that dirt road out there? You don't have to worry about dirt roads when you're calling. Coyotes cross dirt roads all the time. You know, that would block my shot. But if a coyote came in and went behind and I couldn't see him, I could crawl or sneak up there and get a shot if he didn't come up around either of these sides. But the rest of my line of sight is really good. And I can see for a long ways. And then you start to get over here and you've got some, you know, you got a close ridge right there. That would be, you know, if I was calling with a buddy, I'd have him sit right over here with the shotgun so that he could shoot anything that hopped over this hill out in front of us, 60 yards or whatever. But this is a good spot. Mostly it's a good spot. I mean, the one downfall is, like I said, I don't have another hill right over here to block my Jeep. But other than that, this is almost ideal because I can see a long ways. You know, I've got, you know, good line of sight. My vehicle's hidden. I could come into the spot I could come in through a low spot. And if you notice, there's another low spot right over there. So that would be another avenue of approach. You could come in. It's in that little ravine right there. That would be another place you could sneak in and sit down and call. I wouldn't call from sitting down there because you can't see everything clear out there. And if a coyote comes in from this way, you're not going to see him until he's 20 yards away. And I don't like that. If I'm going to be in an open spot, I want to see everywhere. If I'm going to call close spots where, you know, everything around me is that close, then that's when I bring a shotgun and I'm trying to get them to pop their head over the skyline. But this is a pretty good spot. As far as what way they would come in, it just depends. So if the wind's blowing this way, like this, then chances are they're going to come in somewhere over here. If I see them before that, they may be clear out here and they might circle down and try to get downwind. Because there's some cover here with the rocks and things like that. But that doesn't mean they won't come in another way. I mean, I've had coyotes in places like this where I've seen them 600-700 yards out and they're coming and I just wait for them. And if they were to do something like that, they'd most likely probably come up this cattle trail, honestly. But again, this is a good spot. You know, if the wind's blowing this way, then I would put someone with the shotgun right here where I am, like right in this area where I'm sitting right now. And I'd sit with my rifle down at the bottom of this, on the other side of these rocks, or maybe even just the other side of these rocks. So I could watch the downwind side. And then I'd let the guy with the shotgun be up here where he's got a better chance of a close range shot. Okay, so again, you hide the Jeep, come in to the stand in a low spot so you don't skyline yourself, and then get sat down with something behind you to help block your movement and hide you a little bit better. In the evening, this would be a great spot because I'd be in the shadows. Right now it's morning, so the sun's coming down on me here. But in the evening, this would be great because I'd have a shadow behind me. And again, you're going to want to call into a crosswind. You want the wind going one way or the other, or it could be quartering a little bit, but never calling with the wind in your face and never calling with the wind at your back. So anyway, I hope that that helps a little bit for you guys that are trying to get started doing this. Remember that I'm doing videos from the perspective of living in southern Idaho on the high mountain desert. You know, you're depending on your terrain, things may be different. And I know back east, a lot of guys call in trees and farmland and stuff like that. But you know, so if you're watching this and you're like, well, that doesn't help me, then I would say look up MFK, Made for Killing Game Calls. They have a YouTube channel. They're in my subscriptions, and they do a lot of stuff back east, Midwest, back east. They're in heavier cover and trees and stuff like that, and that's just not what we do here in Idaho, in southern Idaho. Just a quick review again. You want to park where you can hide the vehicle from the line of sight of coyotes coming into your call. Okay, so again, this stand is almost perfect. It's just over here to my left, there the Jeep is exposed from a coyote coming in over there. So it's not quite perfect, but it's almost perfect. So you want to hide the vehicle. You want to have a low ground level of approach so you don't have to skyline yourself. If you don't, if you have to go over a hill, crouch down and get over the hill quick and then get sat down. Don't walk up over the hill, stop on top, look around, you know, and then try to figure out where you want to sit, go here, go there, move around. Don't just, if you got to skyline yourself for a second, crouch down, break up your silhouette a little bit, get over the hill and get your butt sat down quick. Once you're sat down, you know, I like to let the area settle down for a couple minutes before I start calling. And then once I start calling, I'm ready to go. If I were sitting here, I'd range a few things out there. There's some rock piles and stuff, so I'd range a couple of them with my rangefinder just to make sure I had a bearing for how far I'm going to shoot. I usually try to range something at 100, and I try to find something that's about 200. And I don't usually shoot anymore. I used to take longer shots. Now, I like to try to get them under 200 yards. So then I can estimate the distance. I don't worry out to about 150, but if I get out to 200, I gotta make a few little adjustments, little Kentucky windage, aim a little higher, with my 223. So you hide the Jeep, you come in on low ground or quickly over the skyline, get sat down, get something behind you. Got these rocks behind me, and make sure you're calling into a crosswind. Make sure you can see the downwind side really well. Because coyotes have a tendency to circle downwind. They won't always, but they have a tendency to. Let it settle down for a couple minutes, range a couple things, start calling. I like to call for about 45 minutes. I always start with howls, and then I'll howl a little bit, and then I'll wait about 5 minutes. Then I'll start with a distress call, either rabbit or bird in distress. With rabbit, I call for about 30-40 seconds and then wait about a minute, and then 30-40 seconds and wait about a minute, and I just kind of do that. With a bird in distress, you really got to keep that going. You know, call for 30-40 seconds, wait 20 seconds, call for 30-40 seconds, wait 20 seconds. And you can switch your sounds up too. You can go from bird to rabbit, you know. Anyway, after about 40 minutes, I sit quietly for about 5, and then I stand and I glass the area real good before I stand up. Then I stand up and look around, and then I head out just the same way I came in. Okay, so because I might have called something in and just didn't see it, and I might see it when I stand up, and if I don't, then at least I didn't educate it. You know, look, if I stand up and start talking and joking around and making noise, then the coyote that I didn't see that came in to just over the hill, now he's like, oh, I heard that call and I hear people now. I'm never coming to that thing again, you know. So I go out just as quietly as I came in, back to the Jeep, head on down to the next location. So anyway, that's my stand video for you. You know, obviously your stands are gonna look a little different, but the same the same characteristics need to be there. Vehicles hidden around, get over or around hills using a low ground level of approach, get sat down quick, good field of vision, can see the downhill side, the downwind side, and go out the same way quietly if you don't call anything in. All right, I got to go back and get to looking around for some pronghorn. Remember, God is great. Guns are good. Freedom is precious. Pray for our country. Pray for our leaders. We need it. Thanks.